Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speakers who are going to talk about challenges of first year of PhD, supervisor and supervisee perspective. It is very important to understand and prepare yourself for PhD journey with right guidance, not only to fulfill the supervisor's expectation, but also how to walk this journey with the proper equipment. So you will get the best insight about all these things as we have an experts with us in today's in this session. So stay tuned because an amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Calvas for arranging such enlightenment sessions, for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Calvas is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world-renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually, as well as to contribute to the world in a positive way. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have wonderful panel. They are well-known personality with a great qualities, having vast experience and exposure. Internationally known and recognized speakers, we always see them while contributing to the world and field in a different way. So let me introduce them formally. Our first guest she is a professor of marketing and e-commerce at Uthman Yeop Abdullah Graduate School of Business, University Utara, Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. She has been recognized in the list of world's top 2 scientists by the Stanford University since 2019. Besides, she is the recipient of Malaysia's Research Star Award 2018, highly commented paper in Emerald Network Award for Excellence in 2015 to 2017. She is the winner of the IGI Global 7th Annual Award Excellence in Research Journal, and her current Scopus index is 29, and she has published more than 400 articles in journals, books, chapters in book, etc. Last but not the least, she is a wonderful speaker, author, teacher, researcher, professional, and above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming Professor Dr. Norazah Muhammad Suki. Welcome to the Calvas platform, and thank you very much for joining us, Prof.
Thank you, bro. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice
thank you
meeting
very.
everyone.
Yeah, thank you. And now let me just introduce our second guest, one of my friend, mentor, and colleague. He's a PhD scholar in consumer and market analysis from University of Utara, Malaysia. He did his MS in marketing, University of Agriculture, Faisalabad. He has more than 15 years experience. He worked in the University of Lahore, National College of Business Administration and Economics, University of Agriculture. Also worked in the Toyota Motors Faisalabad. His publication is so numerous, and he published also the 2 book chapters in the Scopus Index journals. In addition to that, his research interest lies in the digital marketing, the consumer behavior, advertising, and IMC, international marketing, strategic marketing, Islamic marketing, retailing, and service marketing. Last but not the least, a person carrying a multiple tasks, duties, responsibilities simultaneously and contributing to the world and field. Above everything, a great human being. So please help me in welcoming our second guest, Mr. Mohammed Farooq Akhtar. Welcome to the Carvas platform, and thank you very much for joining us, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Haider, for inviting me for the session. You are doing very wonderful work through Canvas and providing knowledge to the academicians and the practitioners who are working all around the world. And thank you, Professor Prof. Norazah, and Prof is my supervisor as well. And it's very interesting for me and very inspirational and very motivational thing that my supervisor is with me, and she is one of the top supervisors and one of the top researchers in the world. So I'm very thankful to her that she that I'm going to share the stage with my supervisor. Thanks a lot, Dr. Heather. Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you very much. And we really appreciate your kind words and your support, and we really appreciate the prof for sparing us her wonderful and precious time for us just to guide the people and to share her knowledge. And it's really a matter of indeed prestige that once we share the stage with our respected supervisor, because they are our spiritual father and mother figure, and they are the people who all the time there through thick and thin to support us, and we feel proud of them, and they are our role model. So thank you, prof, for having you with us. So today we will be discussing about the challenges of the first year of PhD supervisor and supervisee perspective. So it's a wonderful topic, and I cannot wait to just start with the first question from the prof regarding prof. What is the difference between PhD and non-research degree? Yes, please.
Thank you for having me in this session as well. Hi everyone. Assalamualaikum. Very good morning, very good afternoon, very good evening, everyone. By having this title, I can assure that everyone currently you are currently in your U1 of PhD, right? So as you currently in U1, meaning that you already enrolled in the PhD program. First, I would like to congratulate you for enrolling yourselves and for furthering your study to a doctoral degree. That's first. Secondly, to those who are yet to enroll into PhD, this will be an avenue to motivate you to go into these and to further your study as well, right? Into or to advance your knowledge to a doctoral degree. Okay, first, the difference between PhD and non-research degree, right? So, as you aware, Doctor of Philosophy, you later on you will be graduated with a DR in front of your name, or sometimes you will have PhD behind your name, right? So in that manner, you are the subject matter expert in the field. The difference between PhD and non-research degree is that as for PhD, you are fully doing your research, meaning that you are guided by a framework. You have your idea. Research can be a qualitative and quantitative. So in this case, as for a PhD, you have a very clear idea that you want to solve a problem, and in that manner, if you start from the scratch, meaning that you go for qualitative research, you go in depth into issues, then you solve and you would find why it happened, how it happened, and etc. But if you go for quantitative research, you already have some issue that you want to delve into greater detail. So in that manner, you are very clear about the factors. You are very clear about the independent variable, dependent variable, what factor affect another variable. So all are very clear, and you have developed your framework. It could be like you integrate existing framework into one, or you advance the existing framework, or you have an idea of developing a very fresh framework. So that's about this advancement of knowledge. That's very important, that the first year candidate, you have to be very clear about your problem statement, and you have to remember that PhD is 3 years. You aim to graduate 3 years or earlier. So in that manner, you have to have a very clear milestones, and you have to know very well what year you're supposed to reach what progress and etc. And what you have to bear in mind, that the requirement of PhD, some university require that yeah, besides having a complete thesis, and you have to have a publication requirement, like our University Utara, Malaysia. The student have option A and option B, right? You can publish 2 peer-reviewed journal article together with the thesis. I mean that the journal publication derived from the thesis, and on option B, you publish one Scopus Index journal article. As a candidate of a PhD program or doctoral degree, right, you have to know your requirement prior getting your DR or PhD certificate. So in that manner, um, you have to fulfill all those requirements. Prior to that, would like to mention to you that since this is your first year, you have to get yourself clear that as for PhD in several universities, they require you to go for one colloquium. Then you have to go through this proposal defense. Then finally you will go for Viva, and then if you succeed in your Viva, you will do your correction either minor or major. If minor, 3 months. If major, probably 6 months or 9 months, or it depends, 1 year or not, right? So thereafter you will have your doctoral degree. So that's the difference between this PhD and the non-research. It's like coursework. It's different. PhD versus coursework. As for coursework, you have to undergo like 8 papers, or it depends to you. For coursework, maybe you have to go through like examinations together with the subject that you have to go for, like 8 subjects or 6 subjects. It depends. And at the end, you will have like 1 semester for you to do your dissertations. Not that long, maybe 3 month or 6 month dissertations. Then that form of dissertation is not as complex as the PhD. PhD, where entirely all you have to do research, but as for dissertations, you're solving maybe small issue. You have several or limited number variable, and your exploration is more on direct, and the level of analysis is not that so complex. So those are the differences. So as a first year PhD students or candidate, you have to know in advance that you have to plan yourselves. If you go for 3 years, you want to graduate in the between 3 years or maybe less than 3 years, you check what you're supposed to fulfill first. Like I told you, colloquium, proposal defense, viva. And if you require to have your publications requirement, fulfill that one, then you can finish your duration of study and accomplish what your aims when you first enroll, where you want to finish your study in the 3 years or maybe less than 3 years. By not fulfilling your milestone that you set up, it will be your timeline will exceed. Like if you achieve initially you plan for 3 years, it could be like double than 3 years. So that's where your efficiency, your credibility, your ability to have a clear milestone, that's all depends on you yourself as well. The success is all from you. All right, with that, I also would like to that's how I respond to that question. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof, for such a elaborative answer. And you have just made it very easy for our audience from around the globe, because most of the time students are confused regarding the research degree and the coursework degree. But you put it in a very nice way that you explain each and every part so nicely that you made the differentiation between them too. And very nicely you have mentioned it is the PhD is the advancement of knowledge. What is the role of the variable theoretical framework and everything. You made it very easy for our audience. Thank you very much, Prof. Now I would like to proceed towards our second guest, Mr. Farooq. There is question for you that how can a student define his or her research interest? Yes, please. What's your take on that, please?
So kindly, can you please repeat the question?
Yeah. The question is how can a student define his or her research interest? Most of the time, they get confused regarding the research interest when they are asked, particularly in application, maybe by the supervisors. So they get confused. So please guide our audience that how can they talk about their research interest? Yes, please.
It's very difficult for me to say something like in the presence of my supervisor, but I will try my level best to explain it as I have done this whole process. As per my understanding, which I feel that this would be the best option. Normally, we have two approaches in academia. Number one, some people say that student, am I audible, sir?
Yes, please carry
Can
on.
you
We are
hear
listening to
me,
you.
ma'am?
Yes, very much. You are
Yes.
audible and
In yes, yes. In academia, thank you. In academia, we have two approaches. Number one approach that some academicians send their students to the market and ask them to go and find out the problem from the market. So this is one of the approach that we have to find the gap. And number two, we have the second option. We have to search some journals and get the gap from those journals. Like if we are academic, like there's a difference which I have understand from the experts like supervisor, like other people who are working around us. They said that we have two approaches to get the gap and to understand and define our research interest. So in this way, when we are talking in academics, we have two approaches. Number one is basic research, and number two is applied research. Actually, in research, in PhD, we are not doing the applied research. We are doing the basic research. And when we are doing the basic research, it is a better approach to find out your relevant journal. Like we are working on the marketing side, so it's better to find some list of ABS. It's better to find some ABDC list and some other list, and it's better to get some journal to approach some journal like Journal of Consumer Behavior, Journal of Consumer Psychology, Journal of Consumer Marketing. We have some certain journals. We go there and check that what is currently experts and the professors are doing, what kind of work over there. And in those journals, we can find some call for papers. In those call for papers, and in those papers which we have seen from the latest issues of those particular journals, we can find that which is more suitable to us. Then we shall define explain get some paper and find that what kind of improvement we can do in that particular sense. So in my opinion, we can find that we can define the gap from the journals, not to get the problem solved from the real side. So if we try to solve the problem from the real side, there may be a problem like if we are working in Pakistan and in UK and USA, very advanced countries. In Pakistan, there may be a possibility that we feel that we have some shortage and problem in this kind of like in PhD level. But it's not possible at there may be a possibility that the problem which I want to discuss in a paper is not actually the issue of the world. So in applied research, this is a different approach, but it's better in a pure research. We have to go with the journals, and journals should be from the good publishers. Journal should be from your relevant area, and go through all those journals and try to find out their latest issues and try to find out some call for papers over there. So it could be maintained. Secondly, I also want to add something that we must try to get some topic which is currently workable, and we must have some certain reasons that this topic should be for the coming 15 to 20 years, or minimum 5 to 10 years. It is workable topic, then we can say that this could be a better option. So this is my say in this in on this question. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you,
you
Dr.
very much, Mr. Farooq. It was really very nice answer, and I think you have given a wonderful suggestion regarding how can they find the gap and the role of the journal as well, because they have to take it from the prestigious and high impact journal, because the gap would be very nice in that perspective. And secondly, you have mentioned regarding the topic that which could last at least 5 to 10 years, because you will carry out the PhD work, so which is very important that it should be considered for longer period. Really, thank you very much. And now that brings me to the another question from Prof. And Prof, most of the time students are confused regarding the which supervisor to select or which universities to select, and sometimes they think that the supervisor is very nice, but the university is not good, and sometimes they think university is very good, supervisor is not that good in their terms. But Prof, my question is that what is more important, either supervisor or university? Your opinion on that, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Haider. Okay, this candidate, right? You have the power, or you have the options to choose to which university you want to enroll for your study. One option you can go for, we will normally encourage candidates to go for this top 500 QS ranking university. So that's one option you can go for. University Utara Malaysia, like the place where I work with, we are in 481 ranking. So we are part of this top 500 QS ranking university. That's one. Secondly, the universities where you study with also important if the university is accredited by international bodies, international accreditation bodies. That's one another category. I mean, another features or aspects that you can consider, right? Another feature that you can consider: first, the top 500 class ranking university. Secondly, the international accredited university, right? As for our university, we are the AACSB accredited university, right? So double AACSB. So you can check that how many universities in your country listed or accredited by that AACSB. So that's another consideration that you can go for. Other than that, we have some other international accreditation bodies as well. Like if you go for coursework, right? We have this EDAMBAR. So that's another accreditation body that if you feel that that our university, we are part of them as well, part of EDAMBAR. We are accredited by EDAMBAR. So that's another consideration that can go for. The how to say, the name of the university also reflects your how to say, the your way of you doing the research, right? Meaning that you can see that in these well-known universities, like I can name some, like Stanford University, Oxford, Harvard, you just name it, right? All these outstanding or renowned universities, the quality of the academicians that they employed is a high quality academicians. So that can guarantee you about the quality of supervision that they rendered to the candidate. So that's where the quality of the university that you want to choose for you to go into your doctoral degree really matters as well, right? I mean that the image also reflect you. When you go for convocation later on, you will see that the different quality of robe that you are wearing, right, are these renowned universities and some other universities. And when you wear something, people will know that, oh, you're from this university, or you graduated from that university through your robe, through the color of your robe, right? So there's some soft issues that is related to where you graduated from, right? But somehow they every university has their own like signature. Like our university, we are the eminent management university. So in that manner, our concentrations on management area, right? So you can see some universities are good at engineering, another universities are good at some other area. I can give some example of Multimedia University, well known for their creative multimedia. The word multimedia is really reflected in every program that they offer. Engineering, IT, multimedia or management, whatnot, all related to multimedia, some element of multimedia. Like you are concentrating at the energy, you can go for University Tenaga Nasional, like more into energy, right? So the university where you enroll your doctoral degree have their own area of concentration, like where you they focus, right? So one university will focus on some area, another university will focus on some other area. They have their own like signature, what they are best at, right? So but you can Google this university is good at what, this university is renowned on what area. So if you belong to you, if you are doing on like myself, my area of specializations, I'm a professor in marketing and e-commerce. And okay, so in that manner that your concentration on marketing, and myself, I'm talking about myself, marketing and e-commerce. So you when you want to go into your doctoral degree, if you know that you want to have your PhD in so area, so you can Google or browse through, or you can refer to some of your colleagues, or you can refer to LinkedIn, or you can refer to many platforms where you can find which university suit best to your interest. And other things, you can refer to Google Scholar, on searching of the best topics for your thesis as well. Okay, that's I'm talking about university perspectives. Which university you can choose, and the university that you graduated from really matter as well, because it reflects your area of thesis together with the university's signature. What are they are focused at? So like you graduated from Harvard, you graduated from Stanford University, so you people feel that you are good in this area, that area. Though the universities are multidisciplinary or they have their own areas, but somehow you will emphasize on some areas as well. Definitely, every doctoral degree you have your own way of specializations. Are you PhD in so and so? Like my my students, Alhamdulillah, Mr. Muhammad Farooq Akhtar, he has chosen PhD in consumer um, analytics and whatnot. Right? So you should know that consumer analysis market something. So in that manner, you're focusing on that kind of PhD. So you are the subject matter expert on that area. So that's very important. Which university you want to enroll to your for your degree. Okay, coming back to the second part, second portion of the question on the supervisor. Supervisor also important. Like I have relate that earlier to the university where in my previous few minutes earlier, I have also mentioned that the supervisor came from renowned university will give you high impact as well in that manner that if you're being supervised by this like we have recently like this highly cited researcher from by Clarivate, right? So if you're being supervised by those supervisor, they are already top 1% highly cited researcher by Clarivate. So in that manner, they are super duper good. And you have also your supervisor listed in the top 2% scientists or world top 2% scientists by Stanford University. There's also some form of credits where if you have them as your supervisor, you can see that this top 1% and top 2% researcher, meaning that they are doing research aggressively. Right, see my word aggressively, without any space for them to stop not doing research every day. Every single day, they're progressing themselves to produce one after another, one after another, one after another. And that's where, by having that publications, that's where they will have some form of citations. Meaning that a good quality article that they publish, a good quality research that they produce, meaning that they will receive higher number of citations, meaning that quite number of people feel that the findings or the discoveries are very important for them to refer to and to advance existing knowledge, right? So the enrichment of knowledge is very important, and that's true publication as well. So the quality of supervisor, you can get it from, as I highlighted just now, from that two top 1% highly cited researcher from that world top 2% scientist by Stanford University, or you can get your supervisor by looking at the Google Scholar. Google Scholar are very user friendly where you can see the number of citations, of your potential supervisor, right? And another thing, you can see the every university they have their directory of expertise, so you can go through and try to see whether your PhD that you want to embark on or the thesis topic that you want to embark on match or closer to your proposed supervisor. So supervisor also matters, and again, supervisor play many roles. Supervisor play many roles. They are your friends. They are your critics, right? They are the one who will critique your work as well. The supervisor also the one that give you some freedom. The supervisor also your supporter. They will give you support to push you to publish, to push you to go to conference, to push you to join this exhibition, join that exhibition, right? The supervisor will be your facilitator to facilitate the your data collections, to check whether your data collection method is correct or not. Your director also they are again their role is advisor as well. They advise you as well, and they are the one that give you guidance as well. So supervisor plays so many roles. from day one that you register under their supervision until the end. Maybe during your convocation as well, you need your supervisor, because you need your supervisor to witness your achievement as well. So every single day you work together with your supervisor. You can ask my supervisor how we work together every single day. We keep on having receiving his progress today, what you have done, what they have read, and every single day, right? So in that manner, it's a continuous process. If you work together for 3 years, you will have a the memory is yours. That every memory varies from one supervisor with another supervisor. It depends how how the supervisor approach your supervisor. If your supervisor like a two-way, right? When the supervisor do offer you the progress reports, meaning that the progress of this chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, until chapter 5. And the supervisor role is to give feedback in every chapter, right? Every chapter, you will progress together with your supervisor. And I have to assure that supervisor is the subject matter expert, right? All the knowledge, all the ideas from the supervisor. The original idea from the supervisor is only like, as I told you just now, they are just the guiders, offer you guidance, advise you, give you some motivation to move faster, or how to say, to give you some freedom. Like you have some you can go, like if A doesn't work, you can go to B. So yeah, it's all about your working together and having a clear milestone, what you want to achieve. Year 1, year 2, year 3. In year 1 alone, you have to divide your milestone into a few parts. Maybe by quarter, try to check what you have achieved in quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. So it has to be progress supposed to be daily basis, right? So that's where the role of supervisor. Still, the supervisor, the selection of supervisor also matters, and work together. And again, the effort all from the students, and the success is from the student effort and initiative as well. The student, you work harder, you will read more and more and more, and you try to find new literature. And then I will always encourage everyone in this room, or everyone that I met, I will mention to them that keep progressing day by day basis, and look for the SLR. Keep on reading systematic literature review published by this well-known publisher. So you will see the progress of the topic in that area in a day-to-day basis, right? You can see that high impact journal article with their SLR, systematic literature review. You can see that they will offer you recommendation for future research. So that's the role of supervisor. You can take note on that recommendation by this SLR, noted in the SLR article. So there's a room for you to advance your existing work, and to develop your original idea as well. PhD is always related to originality. We are talking about your contribution to knowledge. It's very original. Seems like publication and article. Every single publication, that shows you have a uniqueness of every different article. That's where the aspect of originality really matters in every journal article. Once you publish one journal article, you have that form of originality. Another second publication that you publish, you have a different set of originality, meaning that the contributions from theories and contribution to the practical in one article different than another article. So every different article that we read, or every different journal publication that we publish, meaning that there are a lot of enrichment of knowledge or advancement of knowledge, and that's where the editor-in-chief accept your article for publication, because your newness is clearly seen from the theories and from the practical perspective as well, and somehow on the methodological perspective as well. So what I want to conclude, supervisor role is very important as well. The selection of your supervisor also important, and also the university that you want to go into, your doctoral degree also important, meaning that the selection is yours. You make your own decisions, and remember, you have to work together for 3 years. So look for the topic that you can work together, and it is in the wavelength of the supervisor. And later on, you will have your doctoral degree in what field. So that what field is your specialization. PhD in what? PhD in marketing, PhD in multimedia marketing, PhD in what marketing is very universal. You can have quite a broad of area, like you want to go for halal marketing, tourism marketing, so many other things, sports marketing, pharmaceutical marketing, you just name it, right? So it's very broad, very holistic as well. So the coming back that to the question, I would like to conclude that selection of supervisor is also important, selection of university also important. After all, it depends to the student. Like say, if your can't the distance, you really matter on the distance. For example, if you are you do not want to study abroad, you just want to be at your place. But now, with this feature of this avenue where we have this hybrid. So though you are in other country, you can also enroll in university in some other country as well. What we are doing now, I'm in Malaysia, my supervisor is in Pakistan. That's nothing. We work every single day, and we continue networking, communicating. Right. So WhatsApp play very important avenue for us to communicate, and email as well, and other platform as well. Then use the technology together with your supervisory role, then everything work concurrently as well. So every single day, remember, you have to have a progress, like writing page 1, page 2, page 3. If every day you can write more than one page, that shows some progress as well. So that's what I can conclude from this question as well. Hope it's beneficial to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof, for once again elaborative answer to that. And I really loved the way you explain it right from the university. How can we see the ranking and their accreditation, particularly AACSB accreditation, the international accreditation. And then very nicely you have mentioned regarding the supervisor, their quality, and the way they are publishing, and the way if they publish very well and they are in the list of highly cited researchers, how does it impact and how does it translate into the student productivity. And then very nicely you have talked about the role of the supervisor, the guider, the facilitator, and every now and then the supervisor, right from the first day, as you mentioned very nicely, from the first day to last day of your convocation even, still they are there to support you, to guide you, and their unconditional support is always there. And really the supervisor role is very important. And yes, of course, your nice recommendation regarding the progress, that every day we have to make progress in order to be a successful. And very nicely you have talked about the particularly the which field you are going to be called as PhD, and what is the that field and that university and its relation. I really enjoyed. And Prof, most of the time I tell to my PhD, MPhil, MS, and MBA students that choose your topic wisely and choose your supervisor wisely, because they will motivate or demotivate you. So really, thank you for such an elaborative answer. And now I would like to ask one another question from the Mr. Farooq regarding the PhD proposal, that most of the time when the student they are asked regarding the proposal for admission, they get confused what kind of proposal they should write, what is the page length, and how they prepare it, and so much. So please tell us about yourself when you were writing a proposal for admission. What was that, and what is your recommendation for a purpose who is writing a proposal for admission? Yes, please.
Thank you, Dr. Haider, for giving me a turn. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, we can hear you. Please carry on. Thank you.
Thank you. First of all, I want to endorse the discussion which Prof. Norazah said already, that supervisor is one of the most important person in any kind of industry, in my opinion. As maybe Prof have the idea, or she forgot the situation. When I understand, when I first of all I get the idea about the topic, then I search the relevant person from the Malaysia, that was my supervisor, and someone is working in maybe in USM. At that time, I was working with ecological marketing. And ma'am, paper was published in Journal of Cleaner Production at that time, and I was really impressed from that particular paper, and I feel that paper is very good, and I shall consider Prof. Norazah as my supervisor. Then I work on that particular area and make some things. And I studied my supervisors almost 10 to 20 papers at that time. When I was in Pakistan, I studied 10 to 20 papers of my supervisor. And in my proposal admission, proposal which I am going to send to the Malaysia, I have cited 10 papers of my professor, Prof. Norwood. Maybe I have sent first of all, I sent my proposal to my supervisor, and I got approval from her that I want to be yours. Sometimes some students send their proposal to their supervisors, and they ask them they want to be their student, but they didn't have any kind of inspiration, and they didn't know about the area that on which area he or she is working actually. So in that proposal, I have cited almost 10 papers. Then, so in proposal, when you are writing proposal format, that was a very initial requirement. You have to write your introduction section, you have to write your literature review section, you have to write your methodology section. Basics are very like we are assuming that the people who want to get admission in Malaysia or any part of the world, they have done some little research in MS at MS level. They have some certain ideas about the introduction, that what is introduction is all about, what is literature review. They have some basic idea that theory is actually required in literature review, and what is the relationship between the variables, and what could be the population, and what could be the sample size in that particular paper. Because previously in our second question, when Dr. Haider discussed with me about the area, so area selection should be first. Area, then you have to choose your supervisor, then you will go to write your three sections like introduction, like literature review, like methodology sections. In these three sections, your plagiarism must be clear. Your plagiarism must be less than 20%, as per the requirement of the university. And secondly, at that spot, your supervisor is not going to assess you on the basis of your research ability. Actually, they want to assess you that is that particular person have some certain idea about the research writing. They have some little bit idea about the academic writing. They have some idea about the methodology section, and they have some idea about the literature, and they have some idea that how to write a little bit of your problem statement. So at that stage, you have prepare your introduction section, literature, and proposal section, and send an email to your supervisor and get the permission, and ask him or her that I want to come under your supervision. At that stage, it is again a very important thing that you have clearly explained your supervisor that what are my good areas, what are my weaknesses. Like when I sent my email to my supervisor, I am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Please carry on.
Am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you. Please, uh, Mr. Farooq Akhtar, we can hear you. Please carry on. I think Prof. Mr. Farooq Akhtar has some internet issues, so that's why he's not audible. So we will just take him after that. Prof, there is one another question by our colleague, that is Dr. Arshan Sharif. He wants to ask that, Prof, please, please share with me and give us
Yes.
some
Can you
tips
hear me, sir?
or guidelines for early
Can you hear
career
me, sir?
supervisor. Uh, Yes, Mr. Farooq Akhtar, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yes,
You can hear
Mr.
Mr. Farooq?
Can you?
We can hear
Yeah,
you.
what
Can
I'm
you hear us?
saying? Yes, yes, yes. May I start again?
You just conclude your talk, and then we can move forward to another question from Prof. Yes, please. Your conclusion on that. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So it's very important that you must introduce, and yeah, your introduction must be there. Your literature review should be there. Your methodology should be there. And in that particular proposal, you must try to cite give citations of your supervisor, because in your email you are going to say that you are following your supervisor. So it's my side, and your plagiarism should be less than 20%. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Farooq Akhtar, for your wonderful answer. And you have given the complete description that how can they prepare, and you have given your own example that what you did and how did you approach the prof along with your strength and weaknesses, as you mentioned. Very nice. Thank you for sharing with our audience. And now, Prof, the question from you that Dr. Arshian Sharif wants to ask that, Prof, please guide us. What are the tips and guidelines for early career supervisor like me? So your recommendation to the early supervisor, even like me, please, Prof, guide us. How can we be more effective supervisor? Yes, please.
Thank you, Dr. Haider. Thank you, Associate Professor Dr. Ashan as well for that question as well. I can say that everybody are early career researcher, right? Like myself as well. I keep on learning as well. We will discover new things every single day, right? As a supervisor, the criteria to be a supervisor, right? We first must have our doctoral degree first, right? So we fit that requirement. We already have our doctoral degree. Next, you have the ability to supervise a candidate. Like I mentioned earlier, where you have to mention to the supervisee that you have to have a milestone where if you aim to finish your study in the first 3 years, so by, for example, if you are born or born by your university, where you have to reach 3 years duration of study, right? So the moment that you exceed that durations, you have to pay the tuition fees on your own. Otherwise, the university will be able to pay your tuition fee in that stipulated time. The master will is really helpful. Like you have, like I told you earlier, if you want to check your milestone every quarter, so you will see that your progress. And another thing, you have to check the university requirement, like I mentioned earlier, where besides getting your doctoral degree, in between you have to fulfill the requirement of attending a colloquium, or presenting at colloquium, or presenting or having your proposal defense successfully with a good result. Proposal defense meaning that you have to complete your chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3 completely, and you have your proposal defense in front of your potential examiner, or your together with your supervisor. You present in front of them. They will give you very detailed command to further strengthen your chapter 1, 2, and 3. If you are doing right, you can proceed further to chapter 4 and 5 and 6. If they require you to do major revision, don't feel bad. Some students, when you receive like re-PD, meaning that you have to do re-proposal defense for second times to further enrich or advance your proposed thesis, where your chapter 1, 2, and 3 require major work, then you have to do another round of presentation. Don't feel bad. Not saying that you are doing something wrong, or the supervisor or the potential examiner or your panel of assessor would like to give you more light. I mean, they give you more lights to further enrich your existing proposal. So you will require to change your model, or you have to do some a new methodology, or doing for more number of sample or whatnot, or maybe a different form of data collection. different technique, whatnot. So that new knowledge or new idea will enrich your existing proposal. So whatnot. So in that manner that this proposal, if you go through successfully proposal defense, then you complete, you go and continue your chapter 4 and 5. Go to the field, collect data, do analysis, do right analysis. That's most important thing. I would like to let everybody know that everyone can do analysis, everyone can analyze data. However, please take note that the method of doing analytical data analysis, it depends to how you want to solve your problem statement. It depends, it relates to your research objectives, it relates to the methodology that you promise. Then you perform your data analysis. It has to be very much relate and link and sync to your research objectives. If you promise to check the effects or the impact or the influence, whatnot, you can go for, now everybody going for PLS SEM, right? Partial least square structural equation modeling, or somehow you can go for a structural equation modeling, go for CB SEM, or it depends to you how you want to approach your research objectives, how you want to analyze and towards meeting your research objectives. So those the thing that you can go for in chapter 4. Chapter 5 is the most very, very important chapter. That's your originality derived, and you portray and you expose yourself to your how matured you are in writing in your chapter 5, where you explain about your discussion of findings. You discuss in greater detail. I have to remind everyone, discussion of findings is supposed to be in a detailed manner, relate to the literature, current literature, existing literature, what noted in chapter 2, and you have to have that in your discussion of findings in a detailed manner. And that is very, very important. Discussion of finding, it has to be relate and on how you delve in details. And then you also have to mention clearly your contribution to theory, contribution to practice in a detailed manner. For PhD, Doctor of Philosophy, the assessor or your reader would like to know how you advance existing knowledge or the extant literature. So that chapter 5, where you can deliberate more in the greater detail, how you pinpoint point number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your theoretical contributions. So as for early career researcher, if you supervise candidate, tell them clearly that these 3 years they have to be very clear how is the, you have to foresee ahead, your contribution to theory, your contribution to practice. So you have to foresee ahead, like now your day 1 of your PhD, you have to foresee in the next 3 years 365 multiplied by 3. Then you will see index the third year you should see that. I prefer not, don't wait until third year, you have to finish. I would strongly suggest, if you can do the first 2 years, you can complete up to chapter 5, you're fine. Because I would like to remind you that I don't want to let's say the word remind, I would like to advise you and encourage you that publication takes time. In a good quality publisher, maybe you have to go for 1 year or maybe 6 months to 1 year till you reach your acceptance letter, right? So you can see, like, if you complete your after chapter 5 in the second year, the next year, the subsequent year, 6 months or maybe 1 year from that, just meant for your publication. Remember, don't just publish one. I will encourage you to go for several publications, because if the publication is your requirement towards your graduation, so if you see that if the requirement you have to publish one, I suggest you to double the number, because the you will getting the acceptance letter varies from one journal to another journal. Some journal you will receive acceptance letter after 1 year. Some journal you will receive in the next after 3 months. You will see their acceptance letter. If you do it very well with no correction, no minor correction or whatnot, right? You accept as it is. So it depends. So that's how you manage for early career researcher. Milestone is very important. Time planning is very important, and how you guide your supervisees. This is what you have to achieve in, I would prefer quarterly manner. It depends. If one supervisor varies with another supervisor, if your supervisor go for monthly basis, that'd be good as well, right? So it varies. So all the best to everyone. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Prof, for your elaborative answer and very nice recommendation and suggestion for. And I love the way you explain the relationship between the chapter 2 and the chapter 4. that you have to align them. It's very important, and most of the time, at the beginner, the PhD student, they commit this mistake that sometimes they are not able to connect the chapter 2 with the chapter 4 and 5, which is very important. And very rightly you have mentioned about the theoretical advancement. This is very pertinent question from the PhD scholar, that what actually you are adding to the body of knowledge, what is your contribution, and particularly theoretical contribution. So very nicely you have addressed all these things. Now I will quickly ask the Mr. Mohammed Farooq Akhtar regarding one question. There is a question from one person, and they want to ask that what is your opinion, what is your view on the initial preparation that students do? Should be they prepare the manuscript, or initial data collection, or preliminary results, or they should draft a proposal before enrolling in a PhD? Since you are a PhD student as well, so please just have a suggestion for that guy, that what they should be doing before enrolling in a PhD. Yes, please.
Yes, Dr. Haider, I have already addressed this issue in my previous question. I can repeat it again.
Yes,
That first of
just,
all, we have to
yes,
find a
yes,
topic.
please.
Yes, fine. Yes. First of all, we have to find a topic. Then we shall find out our supervisor, that which is the best option in this world. Could be in Malaysia and any country. Then we have based on that, send an email to your supervisor that I want to be and I want to work in your supervision. And when you ask something to your supervisor, and if your supervisor is well enough, if he's a renowned person, then you must have some certain certain citations of that particular person in that thing. So academic perspective, I must have the same stance. Like your idea must be come from first. Then you have to choose your supervisor. Then you have to write your draft as per the area of the supervisor. Because I want to be a supervisee of Prof. Norazah, and I want to write something in a HR. I want to get some idea. I want to write some thesis on human resource management. It could not be an appropriate option. So if I want to be I want to come into the supervision of some particular person, I must consider that particular area and prepare my draft as per the speciality of my supervisor, and send an email and get a request and acceptance from your supervisor. Then process should be from the university side. Then this could be the whole process from my side. That process I have also done in my during my procedure while I was admitting in the PhD. Like I can give an example from my PhD, from the initial days of PhD. In 2020 I reached in Malaysia. Is 6th January or 7th January could be our orientation day. I was in the corridor and staying there, and I want to meet my supervisor after the orientation. And Prof. Norazah was the resource person that for the orientation, and she passed away from me. And I understand that she is a Prof. Norazah. She passed away from me, and she returned back, and she said, "Ma'am said that are you Farooq?" I said, "Yes, I am Farooq." Previously, I was just attached with my supervisor on the emails, but interaction was created on the first site. So it means if you want to come into the supervision of any kind of person if you want to join any kind of a special person from a different university, it's better to study the relevant work of that person. before sending an email, so that he or she can accept you in a proper way.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Farooq Akhtar, for a nice answer. And now I will quickly ask the prof to give us the wonderful recommendation that is regarding the literature review. Most of the time, students they are confused regarding the literature review section. So, prof, what are the key factors of literature review section? How do you see literature review? Yes, please.
Thank you, Dr. Haider. Okay, everyone. Whatever it is, we have to go back to the title. You have to go back to our thesis title. The thesis title will tell clearly what are you investigating on. Like the thesis title will have a very clear dependent variable. Right. So if your thesis title have a very clear dependent variable, that will be your first factor that you have to explain clearly in a detailed manner in your literature review chapter. Alright,
Mm,
literature review chapter, you have to have subsections. You have to start first. It depends to your supervisor school of thought. Some supervisor they have different perspective where they prefer to have underpinning theory in the first section of literature review chapter. Underpinning
mm,
theory, that first section is some supervisor different school of thought where they prefer at the end. So it depends. Nothing wrong. Most important thing, you have to have the component of underpinning theory.
yeah,
Okay, like our my supervisor, Mr. Farooq Akhtar, he's concentrating on TRGP, right? TRGP theory. So concentrate on that. I mean now everybody are well known to use this UTAP, UTA, UT, TEM, TPB. You just name it. RBV, triple bottom line framework, or KVV, right? So it depends to you. What are the respective or related theory to your research? Every research, as for PhD, you must have at least one underpinning theory. Okay, I hope everybody take note on it. It's very important. Where you remember I told you about chapter 5 contribution, theoretical contributions. You have to know that how best how what is your newness of your proposed framework in comparison to the existing well-known underpinning theory. So what's the big differences? What's the newness that you carry in your current thesis? And what are the level of advancement? Are you putting in new variable? Are you putting in mediating variable, moderating variable, or are you testing mediation, moderation together? It depends. It depends to your research objectives. So in literature review, you have to have a component of your dependent variable. Start first with underpinning theory, followed by your dependent variable. Dependent variable will be clearly mentioned in your thesis title, and some candidate, not only your dependent variable clearly seen in the thesis title, your independent variables also noted in your thesis title, some candidate. So independent theory first, followed by dependent variable, followed by your independent variable. If you have like independent variable 8 or 6 in number, you just have to arrange differently, paragraph by paragraph or section by section. A new section for different variable, a new section for a different factor or variable. You can call factor, constructs, variable, or refers to same thing, which is your factor, right? So independent theory, dependent variable, independent variables, and then you can have your hypothesis formulation. Don't forget, some students you tend to forget this hypothesis formulation. If you have your framework comprises of or encompasses of like 6 hypotheses, so you have to formulate 6 hypotheses separately in your chapter 2, meaning that every hypothesis that you formulated, you have to have their descriptions independently. Let me repeat, you have to have descriptions of your hypothesis that you formulated in different sections. Hypothesis 1, one section. Hypothesis 2, section 2. We start first with 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, 2.4 until you reach to this hypothesis formulation. Hypothesis formulation meaning that you have relationship IV and DV, relationships, independent variable and dependent variable. So if you have 6 hypotheses, you have to have 6 a new sections that explain that synthesize literature on how you formulate that six hypotheses individually. All right, that's a component. And finally, you have to have a section called proposed theoretical framework, where after you have all six hypotheses, then finally that's your original framework. This original framework is your framework, Farooq model, or Dr. Haider model, not that any other one. That framework you can't see with any other thesis. You can't get the same framework in any other published thesis or published article other than your own original work. So that's where proposed theoretical framework, your original idea, your original framework. I also would like to encourage you that in your framework you have to get it clear. Hypothesis one, label it on the arrow along the line in your framework, right? So I'm talking about quantitative research. I am into quantitative research. That's how I explain to you this variable, independent variable, dependent variable, the relationships, the framework, the hypothesis one, two, three, four, five, all in a clear manner. So literature review section or chapter, that's very in depth. And this literature review session, you need to be seeing, like I mentioned earlier, with your discussion of findings in the chapter five later on. Discussion of findings, you have to discuss your findings and relate your findings with the literature that you mentioned in chapter 2. Okay, now I just remember that in literature review, we strongly encourage you to have a section on systematic literature review for every linkages or every relationship that you put forward. SLR. So that's the demand nowadays. Every editor in chief, or you can see that every supervisor will demand you to have this SLR in your literature review for every of your hypotheses that you formulated. All right. So that's the component. I hope you can recall what are the composition of literature review chapter: underpinning theory, independent variable, the framework, and the hypothesis formulations. That's how it goes. So please remember, in every chapter, 2, 4, 2, 3, 4, 5 onward, you have to start first with introduction sections. 2.1 introduction, 2.2 underpinning theory. At the end, before you go to chapter 3, you have a section called chapter summary. At the end of every chapter, 2, 3, 4. Chapter 5, no, you have to have chapter summary in that chapter. So I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Really, what a elaborative answer once again you have given. And you just reminded me my chapter two in a detail. It was a snapshot of my time that when I was doing SLR, and it was very, I would say that it was a very difficult stage, but through this SLR, we learn a lot while formulating for each hypothesis, because we have to develop, we have to go through a lot of research work, and through that way our theoretical background become very strong. And underpinning theory role, very nicely you have talked about it. It's very important, and each and every colloquium we were asked about the theories, that how the theory is playing a role in your theoretical framework, and what is the pioneer, who is the pioneer, and what is the extension of the theory, and what is your contribution to the theory, etc. So you just reminded me all the chapter 2 components once again. Thank you very much, Prof. And now I would like to have Mr. Farooq Akhtar for a last question, because since time is a time constraint. Now the question from you is, please guide our audience around the world regarding how to write methodology of a thesis. Since you are doing it, and I'm sure you would have done in a wonderful way, since you have a wonderful supervisor support and guidance, and which is very much evident in your work as well, which you guide your students in a nice way. So please share your opinion regarding how to write well the methodological section. Yes, please.
Thank you, Dr. Heather, for giving me time. So, in this section, this is one of the most important section of your thesis, because previously you have such as per the Prof. Norazah discussion. Previously, we have the theory, and we have confirmed the theory. that to confirm that particular theory, we have some method. We have some method, and that method should be already tested method. For this reason, you must have some scientific approach already available, like you have some certain paper, and secondly, you have some certain thesis for your guidance. Because in isolation, it is very difficult to write a methodology section, because methodology section is one of the most repetitive product in your whole thesis. So in methodology section, you must consider your population, that what could be your population, what could be your sample size, and you must appropriately select your sample size, and you must appropriately select your sampling technique. These secondly, when first of all you'll have to address your population and sample issue, then you'll have to go to find out your measures, that what could be your measures, like if you want to measure the intention of your consumer, then you must get the instrument of which is going to measure that particular element, which is going to measure that particular variable. So you must get a very well established measure, and those measures must have a good Cronbach alpha value. And secondly, you must get a check the face validity from your supervisor, from the expert who your supervisor suggested in your department, and from the industry side as well. Like if because I have done some work on a food sector, so it's better that you can send some of your questionnaires to the food industry experts, so that they can give you the view that either these measures are appropriate to measure your that particular constraint. So measurement is one of the is it would be the second option, that your measurement should be appropriate one. Third, your data collection method, how you are going to collect your data. This is already because we are not the single one who are going to conduct that particular data. Some other persons, like I'm working on some food, so some other persons in different areas, like from England, from America, from developed countries, they have also collected data on some particular type of topics. So they have written and described that particular method, that how to collect data from through survey method or through experiment method or some other method. So you have to read the carefully all those persons who have also previously done this kind of research. So your data collection should be an appropriate approach. Then first your population and sampling, then your measurement, then you have to then you must give some operationalized definition here, that how you want to operationalize your variables. Then your data.
Yes, sir. I think again the Mr. Muhammad Farooq Akhtar having the internet connection issue. I think he's joining back. Let's see. Yes, sir. Mr. Farooq Akhtar, can you hear us?
Yes,
I think you have the
yes,
internet connection issue, but it's fine. Please
yes,
conclude your
yes. I have some
yeah,
internet problem.
yeah, yeah. Yes. Please go ahead to conclude
Okay,
your answer, please.
thank you. Okay, okay, Dr. Haider, thank you, and sorry for interruption. Here, then you have to write the techniques of data analysis, that how you are going to analyze methodology section, like what could be your the what could be your analysis techniques, like you want to do some descriptive analysis, you want to do some smart, you are going to use some smart PLS, you are going to use SPSS. So these would be the main ingredients of your methodology section. Thank you, Dr.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Mohammed Farooq Akhtar. What a nice answer you have given. And I really appreciate you explain each and every component of chapter 3 in very detail, and you emphasized on each important point, particularly the measurement, the data collection, operationalization of variable, each and everything you covered. I am really enjoying this session, but because of the time constraint, we have to wind up. But really, the wonderful opinion and recommendation shared by the prof and by you is so nice. And I'm just thinking that I wish I had you people, and I had the same recommendation when I was going to start my PhD. It would have helped me a lot. But still, it is very good for the upcoming young researcher who are going to enroll or who are in the PhD currently. They will get a lot of benefit out of this session, because a lot of guidance, a lot of recommendation you both have given. So my last question from the prof regarding, it's very important because since when we are involved in the writing the PhD thesis, we also think about the manuscript, and prof, you have also talked about that one should write the paper because it will take 6 months, 1 year sometime. So we have to prepare for the publication as well. So the most important question, whenever we talk about the manuscript, there is a one question of the plagiarism. So how to avoid plagiarism from the manuscript, because most of the time our words matches with the other manuscript and things. So your recommendation on that, please, Prof.
Thank you, Dr. Haider. Okay, as for plagiarism issue, right? So I will always encourage every single one that we have to check our using the technology we call this turning in, right? Turning in software. Since day one of when you register your, I think during you while you're preparing your proposal, so you have to use that turning in. So keep on using that turning in. And from there you can minimize a number of similarities that you tend to discover when you reach up to chapter 5, right? So that's where I prefer that my supervisors would not. I will encourage them that check turning in, right? So the moment that you complete your chapter 1, maybe every single page that you write, if you feel that the word came from your own idea, your own thought, where you have do some, how to say, rewording, rephrasing, that shows originality is there. So you have to keep doing this on your first page of your thesis. Every single page you have to check for that as well. That's why we don't wait till the end. Some students, you wait till your chapter 5 complete, then you check for turning in, then you will discover your turning in similarities in that case 65%, 42%. You will feel shocked with that huge number of similarities. So that's too late when you reach up to chapter 5, right? So that's where I encourage you, every single page that you write, then you can, if you don't want that, it can be every chapter that you have prepared, you check for turning in. So that's the only ways that you can overcome issues of plagiarisms. Another thing, you do some rephrasing, you do some rewording, then the message is, or the issues is still there, just a matter of you put into your own word. And some students prefer to go for Google Translate. You translate on one language, then you retranslate into another language, then you will discover new phrases. Be careful. You have to ensure that you uphold the message clearly, right? So, I mean that the issues that highlighted by the previous author, well taken care. That's most important thing. Remember, what we do, anything that knows your own word, you have to cite who says so, right? The citation is very important. Again, APA referencing style, I would encourage you to start using APA referencing style on your first page of your thesis until the end. So don't wait till the end. When you reach your chapter 5, you wanted to do checking on your formatting using APA. That's too late as well. So another thing that I encourage my candidates, my scholars as well, from your page 1, you start doing your APA until the end. So you won't do double job, right? But if you have didn't do that, then never mind, you can go backward as well. So that's where how you can go through this plagiarism, going by using that turning in similarities checks. Start checking as early as possible. Do some rephrasing if you tend to see that you have too much similarities on your sentences. Another thing, you can also check this every single definition that you furnish. You can use that open and close marks. Then you have to add citation with page number. Don't forget page number. Because you taken care, you take the whole complete sentence from the definitions from that author or so and so. Then you have to put the so and so name. You have to cite together with the page number, so that you will be fine. If you do that open and close marks, the turn in won't capture that long sentences as well. So that's what I can encourage you to go for these turning in similarities checks, and you can do other thing as well. All right, but I just want to add on this, if Dr. Haider permit me, where when we are supervisor, remember that we are being supervised by someone else as well. So I will always remember our guru, or the person more senior than us that bring us now. So we have to give credit to our supervisor as well, our former supervisor. So I will always thank God that I was nicely guided by my supervisor. That's how I also guided my supervisor the same way. Or maybe there's some lacking here and there, but somehow I'm learning every single day, right? So that's how we have to also give credit to the person that guided us, and that give light to us, and how we should go about in publishing, in supervising people, in do something, and etc. Like what Dr. Haider mentioned earlier, where we have to go to do good things to every single person in every single day, right? Allah will reward us in between what we have done to anyone and everyone, right? So we have to go to do good things to everyone. All right. So plagiarism is another thing that we have to do good things and to give credit to the right person as well. Thank you, Dr. Haider.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof. Once again, you have given wonderful answer to this question. Really, Prof, it's not about the only paraphrasing. It's about that the meaning doesn't change, because it's very important that how you are going to remove it. And really, Prof, Turnitin is a very helpful software, and that is very important. We need to consider it, and we have to do it. And very nicely, you have talked about the role of the supervisor, and even today, I feel and I pray for my supervisor who guided me a lot during my PhD, and not only in academic but also the emotional support and psychological support the my supervisor provided me during my stress work. And really, the role of supervisor is very crucial, very important, very significant, I would say, because they are always there to support you, and we can only recognize their effort by acknowledging it, and we should recognize it, and we should give the credit to our supervisor, even though, as you mentioned, Prof, very nicely, they are our guru, and we should be following them, and we should be very thankful to them, that the way they guided us, this because of them we are now sitting somewhere and we are guiding the people, because this is their direction, this is their guidance, and this is their contribution back to the society. So we always remember them, and we pray for them, and we follow them. And this is what Mr. Farooq Akhtar is also doing, and he's doing a wonderful job, and he's following you very nicely, and he's a very good representation of you, I would say. The way he carries himself, a role model, the way he teaches, the way he conducts the research, and I'm sure most of the things he learned from you, Prof. Not only the research, but in the personality, the way he talks, the way he communicate, and the way he is teaching. So many things he would have learned from you, and this is what the role of the supervisor is. And now, Prof, I would like to have your concluding remarks. And what is your message to the world as a speaker, author, teacher, professor, expert, and professional? Yes, please.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Haider. Um, Whatever that we do good things for the society as well, and the advancement of knowledge must be there. We have to also enrich our own self as well, and get ourselves be updated as well. and originality must be there. And coming back to that, issues of contribution to knowledge, most important thing, right? So that's where I do assure that every single person in this room, where when you advance your knowledge, when you enroll into a doctoral degree like PhD or whatnot, meaning that you have your objective that you want to achieve in next couple of years. You want to achieve your this doctoral degree, right? So in that manner, it's all coming back to basics, coming back to basic where contributions to knowledge and newness. What are the newness that you uphold? So that's the things that you want to uphold. And contributions to theory, most important thing, followed by contribution to practice. If both are clearly been seen, there's weightage for your thesis that you are doing now. And if you're currently enrolling into PhD program, remember, do a very clear milestones, and you have to achieve your milestone. If it is exceeded, so try yourself to balance here and there, and go back to the track, if possible, right? So here and there, the 3 years journey is your journey. The journey that you want to describe will be different than your other friends' journey as well. They can't duplicate what you have gone through, but somehow they will learn from you as well. And if you go into a smoother journey, that will be your way, and other person will be on their own way. Whatever it is, we have to be thankful to God what we are having. That will be your day for today. This is your achievement. Tomorrow will be a different achievement. So think positively about like a variable, or word like achievement, encouragement, enrichment, advancement. So things, that positive word will make you move forward as well. I wish everyone all the best, and for sure, you will receive and achieve your doctoral degree very very soon, in a colorful and a smoother journey as well. Inshallah, Allah will give you how to say, a smooth journey for your doctoral degree. Inshallah, all the best to everyone.
Yeah, thank you
Thank you,
very
Dr.
much,
Haider.
Prof. Really, it was a pleasure to have you with us in this wonderful session. It was very informative and very enlightenment session with you. And what a wonderful message you have given to the world. You have given the value to the audience, that how can they be more valuable by adopting such values which will make them great, not only achieving the PhD degree on time, but to be a better human, better researcher, so that they can contribute back to the society, to the field, and to the world at large. And the people like you who spread the message of positivity, hard work, dedication is really is the dire need of the world, because people like you who are contributing to the world and field, we need you, and our prayers are with you. May Allah bless you more, and please keep it up the way you are doing, the way you are guiding. Like our brother Farooq Akhtar is so nice, so great. Please keep it up. We look upon you, and we are following you, and we have a best wishes for you, Prof, for your upcoming projects and upcoming supervision as well, Prof. Thank you for sparing a wonderful time and guiding our audience from around the globe. And now I would like to request our second guest, Mr. Muhammad Farooq Akhtar, that please, what is your concluding remarks, and what is your message to the world as a speaker, author, teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, and educator? Yes, please.
Uh, it's my message for the community is in this world. This world is actually achieving the knowledge, and if we want to overall, if we want to solve the problems of the world, we must try to get some scientific knowledge. Like we are learning from the from the research and all these practices. And secondly, humanity is one of the most important characteristic in the world. So try to be very simple, try to be very honesty on humanity and harmony and trust. When we are talking about the supervisor and supervisory relationship, the one of the most important factor that I have find is the trust. that your supervisor and the supervisee should have trust in between each other. So try to hold that trust every time. And thanks a lot to all of the audience that they gave us a time to listen our words. And thank you very much, Dr. Haider Shah, for inviting us on a very great platform. And thank you very much to Prof. Norazah that she again gave a very important and very interesting things and share with all of us. Thank you very much, all. Thank you. You are not audible, sir. You are not audible. Your mic is closed. Kindly on your mic.
Yes, thank you for letting us know. Really, I appreciate the way you are contributing back to the society as a researcher, as a supervisee, and as a supervisor. The way you are doing is fantastic, and we wish you best of luck for your future endeavors as well. For your PhD, really, people like you, we need you, and the way you are contributing is so great, so nice, and we appreciate your kind words and support. This is what we are doing together. Together we grow, and together we can contribute back to the society in a better way. So that's all to the audience. That please do follow our distinguished guest speaker through their research work, and you can email them for future learning and guidance. They are very generous and always ready to help the people. Moreover, wonderful explanation and wonderful elaboration they have given to the each question, and we are very thankful for them, that they have spared their precious time and they guided our audience around the globe. So thank you once again, Professor Dr. Norazah Muhammad Suki, and thank you, Mr. Muhammad Farooq Akhtar, and thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. Until next session, take care of yourself. Bye bye.